Good morning. This is our Pastor's Corner devotional series. In this devotional series, we've been looking at various aspects of mental health, and this was to also get us prepared for our own church's discussion on mental health. So with that, I'm glad to say that we have those resources that are starting on since last Friday on our YouTube channel at our church, just talking about mental health. And these were some interviews that we had with a psychologist and a psychotherapist as well. So I can direct you always there to get some of those resources that we have. But this devotional series, we were just examining various aspects of mental health and what it means for us as followers of Jesus, and something to encourage us in terms of from Scripture. So today is no different. This is our last time we'll be talking about it, and then we'll be moving on to our preparations for Easter and the Lent season to get us ready for that. So I want to just take a moment here to examine some scripture passages. And again, these scriptures are not to condemn us or judge us. They're really to encourage us as we think about mental health and what it means for us. And I just want to particularly look at Jesus himself. And Jesus being fully God and fully man, and embracing the very fact that he had a humanity to him. How did Jesus approach issues of mental health? And I just want to read for you two passages today and to just reflect on what those mean for us. The first passage is found in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 22, verses 39 to 46. And if you are familiar with this, it's Jesus is on his way to the cross, and he takes this time to pray. And so here's what it says. Jesus went out as usual to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. On reaching the place, he said to them, "Pray that you will not fall into temptation." He withdrew about a stone throw beyond them, knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. And being in anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. And when he rose from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep, exhausted from sorrow. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray so that you will not fall into temptation." What I just want to highlight from that passage is this. Jesus was going to approach the cross. He knew the suffering and the pain that was going to come there. And so there's a level of anxiety in Jesus, being fully God and fully man, understanding the very fact that in our humanity we would experience some kind of anxiety. He experienced anxiety so much to the point of being in anguish that he would sweat drops of blood. And he was praying earnestly and hard for God's great intervention. Jesus prayed this way, though. He said, "God, not what I want to do, but what you want to do." And I think that's part of this challenge that we have with mental health is sometimes we just want God to fix it all. But sometimes we're not really paying attention to what is God doing in this? What is God teaching? How is God going to be glorified through this? And that's something that we may have to learn to submit to. But the very fact that Jesus undergoes some form of anxiety, I think is an encouragement to us that yes, it's real, it happens, and even God himself went through it. And it's an encouragement for us to be mindful of that, and that there's nothing wrong with us if we experience anxiety. There's nothing broken in us that when we experience anxiety, it is part of life. And even Jesus demonstrated that for us. Our second passage is found in the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew chapter 11. And I just want to take us there for a minute. And it's a very familiar passage of comfort that Jesus gives to us. He says in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 to 30, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, this is one of those encouraging passages that says, come to me, put the burdens, the weights that are weighing you down in life, and bring them to me. Jesus instructs us and gives us that encouragement. But one of the things that I really like, he says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me." Jesus said, "Learn from me." And again, if we're to look at Jesus, he did experience anxiety. And how can we learn? Well, one of the things is that when he was going through that passage in Luke, and also you can see it in Mark 14, when he's going through the most anxious times, he actually brings people along with him. He brings his disciples with him. That's something we can learn. We can bring our communities with us, our family members, our friends, people willing to journey with us on that. And he goes and he turns his attention to God the Father. He goes to pray. And one of the examples is we can bring this, whatever it is, the fears, anxieties, the worries, bring them to God in prayer. It doesn't mean that we're always going to get an answer. It doesn't mean that God will take it away necessarily. But it is the very fact that it's part of our soul journey that we would be able to bring these things to God. So Jesus invites us to take all our burdens and put them on him and take upon us his burdens, which are lighter. And he said, learn from me. And so the very fact that Jesus experienced anxiety, that Jesus experienced so much so to the point of even sweating drops of blood, I think is an encouragement to us that as we go through our challenges today, that we would find the very fact that we can follow the example of Jesus. He went to God himself. He brought people along in this journey as well. May that be an encouragement to you. Bring it to God, whatever it is that you're going through. Bring people along in your journey and in your struggle. So that's it for us this week on our Pastor's Corner devotional in terms of mental health. We hope that this series has been helpful to you. Again, if you want to look at more information on our mental health resourcing, it's on our YouTube channel. I'll put that link in our description, and it's going to be posted every Friday for the next few weeks. Until next time, love and peace. We're going to get ready for Easter. Take care.